What up, Insane Rhetoric? What's going on? What's going on? What's happening? You know what time it is. We back at it. You know the world is upside down. We're trying to make it right side up. So we out here trying to do what we can because the nation is in tyranny about so many issues. Sigh of relief. What's up, sister? What's going on?
You got it going on. Hi, y'all. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. So
Yeah, you. I was about to tell you, cut that off. We don't need. Look, inflation is high. We don't need to pay royalties to anybody today. Okay, we ain't trying to pay
so,
royalties.
so what's the word? What we talking about today? Have we heard from our friend who listens to our episode faithfully without fail? Has he contacted us today? Well, we would we it's almost 8 o'clock. I'm pretty sure he has some nice words to say already. I'm pretty sure.
Oh my goodness, y'all. We got somebody. Okay, so we got somebody that listen to us faithfully.
Yeah.
Like y'all might just be popping in or something like that, but we got this one person. I forgot their name, but anyway, they pop in and they listen.
Yeah.
They make comments. Like
Yeah. It's real cool. They
we
be
got a
on the
mega
square.
fan, y'all. We got a mega
Yeah,
fan.
yeah, he be on the square. So shouts out to him. We appreciate you.
Yeah. We, we-
So what we
anyway,
talking about today? What's going on?
we
Who
haven't.
didn't who
We
who
haven't.
who didn't
Huh?
had something to say in Texas?
I don't know,
What
man.
didn't happen in Florida?
I don't want to talk about Governor Abbott and Paxton and I, Patrick and I don't want to talk. They, the
So you
governor,
want
the governor is trying to sue the federal government because Biden signed in. He signed the law that was his anti-abortion thing. He just Biden just signed.
Mhm.
So Abbott is suing the government.
Okay, so how explain to the people how that this law is working. Does it benefit women or does it not? What is the logistics behind it?
So basically, it's the emergency rate thing. It's
Okay.
that
Oh,
thing,
we back there with
making
eradicating rape again with the Abbott.
it. So Biden signed into law. Like okay, we listen. We gonna stop that. We gonna halt that. Okay. Can't get an abortion. Okay, but listen. Wait a minute. I'm gonna sign this in the law. It's a emergency medical problem. You can get the abortion.
Okay, and now what constitute as the emergency medical?
You know
What?
what we talked about it before. Like it's life saving to the woman. Like the
I'm,
woman
I'm
gonna
just
die.
making I'm just making sure that the people understand.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, I'm just making sure that the people
Yeah,
understand. So
the woman
okay,
gonna die. The baby gonna like it. It's life threatening.
yeah. So
Yeah.
rape ain't life threatening, huh?
I be trying not to. You hear what I said? See, you got me speaking colloquialisms again. I
So,
be,
so rape is
I,
not
I,
life
I,
threatening.
I be trying not to. Okay.
So we understand that rape is not life threatening. Shouts out to Starbucks. You know what it is. So since rape is not life threatening, everybody that has been raped or is being raped or will be raped in the future, just know that you can't have no abortions, especially in Texas.
So I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. Not Governor Abbott, Ken Paxton, Attorney General.
They all the same. They all the same. They all the same. The white men are all the same. They think the same. They all the same. The government should have a team called Team Whitey.
So there's an existing law, pre overturn of Roe versus Wade. There's an existing.
So that law has been in existence for past 56 years. Is it that old?
Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act. That's the name of it. Mm-hmm. Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act. It requires that all patients receive an appropriate medical screening, examination, stabilizing treatment, and transfer if necessary. Okay. According to Health and Human Services guidelines. Okay. It exists irrespective of any state laws or mandates that apply to specific procedures. Okay. Mm-hmm. So according to Health and Human Services, here's the quote. Federal law is clear. Patients, no matter where they live, have the right to emergency care, including abortion care, if their doctor deems it necessary. Health and Human Services stands unwavering in our commitment to protecting patients' rights to access the health and life-saving care that they need, and that is protected by federal law. We will continue doing everything we can in the fight to protect access to health care, including reproductive health care. Now, although Human Health and Services guidance focuses on abortions performed in emergency situations, in Texas, yes, long pause. Texas officials interpret that memo that went out as an order that all hospital emergency rooms must act as a walk-in abortion clinic. That's not what it said. It said life-saving.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's what Ken Paxton had to say in his lawsuit. President Biden is flagrantly disregarding the legislative and democratic process and flouting the Supreme Court's ruling before the ink is dry by having his appointed bureaucrats mandate that hospitals and emergency medicine physicians must perform abortion. So they're challenging it on the grounds that it uses federal funds. Mm-hmm. It ties compliance to Medicare funds. And because the Justice Department is funding, their funding would be spent enforcing the federal law. In violation of the Hyde Amendment, the Hyde Amendment bars federal spending to facilitate an abortion, except in cases of rape, incest, or the safety of the patient. Mm-hmm. So there are things in place for emergency rape, even at the federal level, but Texas, our Texas, all hail the mighty state. Oh, okay. Y'all gonna know that song. Well, I might need to sing the whole song. Okay, it's long though.
No, don't do it.
So the Texas complaint also argues that Health and Human Services should have subjected the guidance to a lengthy notice and comment process required of newly proposed rules from federal agencies. So they say that the memo from the Biden administration did not implement that new rule so that they could go through the notice and comment process. So they wanted Biden to notify them, give them whatever the specified time to comment, go back and forth, have it all in the news, get the people all in an uproar with a bunch of lies and fake news.
So they can have another January 6th uprising.
Okay. So it also contends the guidance violates the 10th Amendment, along with a law that forbids arbitrary and capricious actions by federal agencies. So we have in Texas what's called the near total abortion. The only exceptions are those that allow doctors to perform an abortion to save a life of a pregnant patient. So you arguing about something that we already have in place.
Right.
That Biden just made federal.
Right. But see, that's what happens when people are not competent in reading. You don't know how the language is working and flowing. That's why you have people bringing these type of arguments to the government, and it's already stated what it means, but you see it as a different interpretation instead of sticking with what it means. And that has always been the problem with people, is that they take the information and they rationalize it as what it means to them, not what it means as it is written. And that be the problem.
Okay, 10th Amendment. Y'all knew I was going there, right? Oh, okay. Y'all don't have to answer. Okay.
You already know.
Constitution of the United States, 10th Amendment, 1789, revised 1992.
That's a long time before it was revised.
The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. Okay. Here's the simple version. You know, our forefathers, they was
cokeheads.
The 10th Amendment says the federal government only has those powers delegated in the Constitution. If it isn't listed, it belongs to the states or to the people.
Oh, well, that definitely ain't gonna work.
The 10th Amendment was intended to confirm the understanding of the people at the time of the Constitution.
When it was written.
Let me say that one more again. Let me say that again.
One more again. Say it one more again.
The 10th Amendment was intended to confirm the understanding of the people at the time of the Constitution was adopted, that powers not granted to the United States were reserved to the states or to the people.
At the time of the Constitution being adopted.
It was actually ratified before 1992. So it was passed by Congress in 1789, ratified in 1791.
Okay.
And of course, y'all know this is the last Bill of Rights. Like,
yeah,
you had the Bill of Rights, first 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 10 Commandments of the United States.
The 10 Commandments of the United States. Exactly. Oh.
Burn it down. Start over.
Okay. So there's one sentence that grants state governments all powers not specifically delegated to the federal government by the Constitution. Interpretation by the Supreme Court has placed some limits on state power. Y'all want me to read again what it say?
We don't want you to read it again. They understand.
Okay.
They understand. They just mad about it right now.
Okay.
Because they didn't understand when they said it. Like, I don't know, man. I can't even begin to like unravel that, because what do you
So here's an example. The United States Supreme Court ruled that the federal government could not force states to run background checks on people attempting to buy guns. Okay? Y'all got that?
Well, see, listen, the powers that be is simple. Like, you got to understand, like, I understand that, you can't force people to run background checks, but I think that is,
But it was seen as coercive. That's the term, coercive. It was seen as coercive.
And I get that, but think about it like that. Like, when them laws was written, and then did you have the rates of killings in places like you do now? No, you didn't.
Well, we didn't have as many people back then as we.
Well, yeah, but they wasn't killing people because they was too busy smoking peace pipes with crack pipes. So
they was killing people because they was robbers and.
Yeah, but I'm saying they went. I'm saying, like, just in
Jack. That's probably why they couldn't find Jack the Ripper, because he was on a boat to America. Oh, I'm sorry.
Listen. I was just looking at that documentary the other day. They never caught that dude. Like,
they think he ended up in New York.
Plenty rippers here.
They was killing people.
I'm just saying,
it just wasn't as many people, number one, and number two, it wasn't being reported because people were scared.
I know they was killing people, but I'm saying, like, in how I ain't finna say me, how they do it now in schools and different things of that nature. And, so, yeah, I mean, you had to add a faction into that equation for that, because so many people were being killed and are. So it makes sense to do a background check, although, I believe, like, that ain't really important, because 9 times out of 10, the people who are registered gun owners are not committing heinous murders like criminals are. So really doesn't matter. Criminal, don't, like I say, don't give a hell about a background check. He gonna get a gun any way he can. So that really doesn't do nothing for the people who are legal and registered. It really don't do nothing for them at all. Now, if you want to do something like we said on the last show, institute psychiatric background checks. Now that'll help you. So somebody come in the store looking off the wall and talking to somebody that ain't there, that's a good clue. You might want to say them
Well,
good.
okay, so I just feel like Texas, Ken Paxton, Dan Patrick, Greg Abbott, they wasted taxpayers' money here in Texas because you fighting a law that's already on our books.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, somebody has to pick up the mantle somewhere and seem like they're doing something that has already been accomplished. That's
Well,
the
I don't know why you're doing that because everybody that was following him is falling by it. They're getting beat at the knee. Even Steve Bannon is like, okay, I'm gonna tell y'all everything that happened. Like, if y'all just make a deal with me, I'll just tell you everything I know.
Hey,
Okay,
it is what it is. I mean,
like, come on.
the government is becoming unraveled and unhinged. They don't know what to do in any situation anymore. I mean, it's basically just like a free for all, just run rapid. And this is something that I said in a past episode. Just take it back to the wild wild west. Let the people who are capable of doing what they need to do, survival of the fittest. You survive is because you fit. Do what you got to do and don't worry about nothing else. You know.
Well, since we're in Texas and we done moved from abortion to guns, let's talk about this lady,
Oh Lord.
Travis County.
She in Houston.
No, Travis County. Listen,
Where is that? Where is that? Texas
Travis
is
County.
huge. Texas is huge. I don't know where
Yeah,
Travis
it's
County is.
going toward Dallas.
Okay.
It's going toward so
The north, going toward the north.
so listen. Dallas going that way, I think. So Austin?
Dallas is north.
Yeah, Austin is more central west.
Mm-hmm.
But it's north of Houston. Okay.
Okay.
Austin.
Okay.
Okay. So she's suing, she filed a civil lawsuit against Academy Sports and Outdoors. Y'all got an Academy? Okay.
Yes, we do. Yes, we
Okay.
do. They took the place of was it Sports Authority. I think they brought them all out.
Yep. Okay. Academy Sports and Outdoors. They sold her daughter a gun on July 2nd in Austin.
How old was her daughter?
The girl used it to kill herself, commit suicide. The girl struggled with bipolar and general anxiety disorders. The mama say Academy never should have sold her the firearm and ammunition given the condition in which she presented. Listen, okay, before we go on. The people in the store, see, I said store, not store.
The corner store? Is it the corner store?
The people in the store
on the corner,
they have no way of knowing if you have bipolar or if you suffer from anxiety. They have no way of knowing.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm not mad at her. I would sue him too. I would sue him too. Have you heard about the lady that sued the man, his insurance company, while she was in the car having sex with him, and she caught something because the car wasn't sanitary, and they actually paid her? So I can see.
Well, she's looking for $1 million.
Listen. They'll probably pay her to it just to keep Academy out of the news. That $1 million ain't nothing to her. I mean, nothing to them.
So she's suing for negligent hiring, training, and supervision, negligent entrustment, and gross negligence. It also requested evidence pertaining to the case to be preserved. Which includes statements, surveillance tapes, audio tapes, business records, investigation reports, and any electronic image or information related to the incident.
Okay, so this is the problem that I have. What is the legal age in Texas to buy a firearm now? Is it still 21?
You know what? I thought it was 18, but
I think if it's
hold on, let me see. Let me go on and Google.
and you might be right. It might be 18.
I don't know. I don't have a gun.
Maybe you need to get one in Texas.
It looks like I do.
I don't know what's taking you so long. I've been telling you about this for a long time. You need to buy a gun. Buy as many as you can.
Okay, so this is as late as June of this year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
To those under the age of 18. Can't buy a gun if you're under the age of 18. Remember the Uvalde boy.
Yeah.
He was 17. The next day was his birthday, 18. He went out and bought a gun.
Yeah. So, okay. So now.
Yeah, I just had to stop to make sure.
Right. So now at the age of 18 in Texas, it's legal for you to buy a gun. Mm-hmm. So now at the age of 18, women are considered adults, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that wouldn't fall back on mama. That would fall in the category of
a grown ass woman
with a grown person.
A grown ass woman went bought a gun.
Right. And that's the point. That's the
she
point.
She had mental illness.
Now, if
just like the boy Uvalde, a grown ass man went in and bought a gun, mm-hmm. and he had mental illness, and he shot up some kindergartners and some fourth grade teachers.
Yep. So now that situation don't fall under the parent's guardianship. That falls under the person of a grown person finding their own way, regardless of their mental health, to go in and purchase a weapon. So technically, I don't think and do not believe that academy sports should be prosecuted for something that a grown person has went and done on their own. Because when she went to the store, she was mentally capable. When she handed them the money and told them what she wanted, she was mentally capable. Now, the problem that I do have with that, maybe the mother should have been more concerned about her daughter's state. We don't know if she had any type of psychiatric help or whatever the case may be, to try to keep her in a safe zone or a safe place so she wouldn't. We don't know that. Or do
we need to find out how old she was, because here's the thing in Texas. You can buy a gun, you can buy an AR-15 and you're 18. But you cannot buy a handgun until you're 21.
Okay, I was like, okay. So you can buy, listen, which is crazy. You can buy a high-powered rifle at the age of 18, but a handgun, you gotta wait till you're 21. So some people don't know that you can actually break down an AR-15 into a handgun. You don't know that? Well, here's the weapons corner of insane rhetoric. Here's the weapons corner of the Insane Runner. You can actually break down an AR-15 into a handgun.
Weapon. Okay.
Hey, I'm just saying. So, if you ain't never heard of a Draco, then, well, you know, I can't give all the secrets away. But y'all crazy. Oh, sell him
Florida,
AR-15 at 18 and wait till the 21 to give him a handgun. Okay.
Florida, Washington, Vermont, California, Illinois, and Hawaii increased the minimum age to purchase long guns. I guess that's assault rifles.
Rifles.
Long guns to 21. Okay. And most of that happened in 2018 following the Parkland, Florida murder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Massacres.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, like I say, to me, that falls back on the parent of not making sure that that kid was capable or had the help that she needed or he needed. So we can't really say if that is the case or is not. But my thing is, and you people might hate me when I say this. Once again, I don't care. Really don't. But if somebody wants to do something to themselves, you really can't stop them from doing it.
So that's what the law is about, is that age between 18 and 21, that age group supposedly are more apt to harm themselves. So you're going to ban them being able to get a handgun and killing themselves with the handgun, but you don't want to infringe on their Second Amendment rights so they can buy a long gun.
Okay, so do you know that if you are trying to 86 yourself, it doesn't matter what type of gun that you have because it's all possible. I remember some people doing some crazy stuff to blow their head off with a sawed-off shotgun, with a 12 gauge long gun. If you want to do it, there are ways to get it done, which I don't suggest none of them because life is too precious, but some people just don't feel that way.
Well, they can buy they can buy a gun, but they can't buy a tobacco product.
Which is crazy. Which is freaking crazy. Which is a long time.
18-year-old.
Which is a long-term killer.
Right. 18-year-old can't buy tobacco products.
But you can buy a weapon.
21, but they can buy a long gun, but then they can't buy a handgun.
Yeah, that's stupid. You know what that's like to me? That's like telling me I gotta wear a seatbelt in the car, but then telling me on my motorcycle I don't have to wear a helmet. Which it is like that in the state of Illinois and the state of Missouri. You don't have to wear a helmet on your motorcycle now. You can run around with your head just bobbing through the air, which I wouldn't recommend. But you want to force me to wear a seatbelt. That don't work out.
They don't have seatbelts on motorcycles, do they?
No, but my point is...
No, I was just asking. I was just trying to make sure.
Yeah, the point is the likelihood of you surviving a car accident without a seatbelt on is probable. You could. I done did it plenty of times. But the likelihood of you surviving a motorcycle accident without a helmet on...
Because there's no seatbelt and no helmet, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
You could probably get some scratches and some broken bones, but a brain injury...
But there's no seatbelt.
None.
Nothing around you but air.
Yeah.
And no helmet.
and no helmet.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure.
And somebody gonna be scooping
I
your
was asking
noodles.
for a friend. I was asking
Somebody,
for a friend.
so somebody gonna be scooping your noodles up off the street is what it
Oh.
said. That's all I can tell you with a scooper. Because that's stupid. And my thing is, why would you want to have a seatbelt on a motorcycle?
Well, I'm just asking.
No, I know, but I'm just saying it
Because we
makes no
got all
sense
these precautions in a car.
listen, it makes no sense because if that bike gets hit or you start to slide and you're in a seatbelt, it's gonna drag you down the street.
Well,
You don't have no choice.
But you still don't have a helmet on either, right?
You still ain't got a helmet on.
Oh, okay.
You see, but see, the guys that I know that ride, they ride with helmets.
Oh, okay.
They ride with helmets on.
So they use their brain.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But you know, you got some of them other free spirits that want to free their spirit. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Okay, well, I think the girl must have been to buy a handgun. We need to find out. They haven't told us. We don't know how the girl was, but if she bought a handgun, she was 21. If she had used that gun to kill anybody but herself, her mama wouldn't have had nothing to do with that. She'd have just gone to the woman's prison up there in Gainesville. She'd have been, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and she probably wouldn't have made it 2 days.
Especially without her medication.
Yep.
Because it probably would have took a while. Look at me. It would have taken a while. Not took a while, y'all. I'm sorry. It would have taken a while for her to get processed and all of that and get her medication and she would have been in there going cuckoo.
They was probably gonna walk her in there cuckoo because they wasn't gonna give it to her while she was being detained before she even walked into a prison.
Cell.
It's gonna be.
Yeah.
Now I think that mama needs to sit down because that case ain't really.
Well, she's grieving. Come on now, she grieving over her daughter.
Listen, man. Listen. If, like I say, I don't know and we don't know here at Insane Rhetoric, but what I do know, if she didn't take the time to try to find out where her daughter was at and what she needed for us medically, then that's your fault.
But we grieving and we want to lash out and the gun topic is huge right now. And it just made it real and tangible for this mother, this topic of guns. And she's grieving, she missed her baby. Man, we are so sorry for your loss. We really are. We're talking about your case, but we are so sorry for your loss. However, your child was either 18 or 21. Now, if she was 18 and they sold a gun to her, maybe that's the story. Because we didn't get a complete story on this article. So if the story is that she was 18 and they sold her a handgun, then that would speak to the training of the staff at Academy.
Right. Because they know the law and that ain't supposed to happen at all.
Right. So we need more articles to come out on this so we can know if she was 18 and bought a handgun.
Right.
Or
I'm gonna tell you, it takes some time trickery to actually pull the trigger of a rifle and blow your head off. You got to put some thought into that.
Yeah, like when you have to like hold it down and be like,
yeah, or either you can have it rigged to a door. You shut the door.
I wouldn't think she did all of that.
And that's what I'm saying.
Handgun.
That's what I'm saying. It takes a different type of mindset to do something like that and put that together, and you really are desperate to check out of her than just going to grab a handgun and putting it in your mouth or to your head and blowing your top off.
So I'm gonna tell y'all this real quick. I know I haven't told you. I'm tell you that this y'all this real quick. And my family, y'all just have to get mad at me. Y'all, y'all just have to be mad at me. I'm not gonna name any names, but y'all just have to be mad at me because it speaks to this. Okay. So many years ago, I was a young girl, and
You was young?
yeah, one time, a long time ago. I know you can't believe it. So my parents got a phone call, and my father was um, very upset, and he and my mom rushed out of the house. And actually, it it came at a time when we had just had our house had burned down. Our house had burned down. The one I talked about a couple of weeks ago, where we talked about somebody coming in and had robbed the house, and we were on vacation.
Right.
Well, our house had burned, and we were living in a garage apartment of a neighbor. The neighbor across the street had a garage apartment, and we were living. The five of us were living in this garage apartment. And so we got the phone call, and my parents rushed out of the house. My mother just kind of, as they were rushing, was like, going to your grandfather's house. My grandfather at that time lived in Houston. He didn't mostly live in Houston, but at that time, he and my grandmother lived in Houston.
Right.
And they rushed to the north side. And when they finally told us what happened, it took them a while to tell us what happened. But when they finally told us what happened, what they said was my uncle, uh, had used a sawed-off shotgun and had killed himself with this sawed-off shotgun in the house. My grandmother, who was in the kitchen cooking, heard the noise, ran into the bedroom, and immediately died from a heart attack, having seen her son's brains splattered all over the room.
Wow.
My grandfather survived that. Many years after that, he lived. Many years after that, he was a tough old bird. But it's another story that's connected with that, with my mother and my grandmother. But anyway, my mother was in there cleaning up this mess. You know, after the police came and all of that, blah, 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 blah. Then my mother was in there cleaning up this mess. My uncle was a middle-aged man, still living with his parents. And us kids, we loved him. You know, as a little bitty kid, we go to the country when they lived in the country in North Texas, and he was always drunk. Like fall down, pass out, drunk. But he had just enough energy to play with all us kids. And we could jump on him, we could jump on Uncle, and he'd just be rolling around laughing with us. One time, he actually had my baby sister. She was this kind of baby sister, holding her in her arms, baby sister. And he was walking with her, and we was jumping on him, and he actually fell to the ground, but he didn't let nothing happen to my baby sister. Okay. And my grandmother was screaming and hollering, "Oh my God!" And my mother was, you know, she just came and got the baby. But, you know, as we grew older, we knew that Uncle had mental illness from being in the Korean conflict.
And I was going to say, it sounded like he was a military man.
Yeah, he had mental illness. He was So he was in the infantry, like right there.
Right. Foot soldier.
My father created the bombs and then went and put them out in the field.
Mm-hmm.
And then another uncle was in transport. So my grandmother had 3 sons in the Korean conflict at the same time, all doing several different jobs. But this one was hand to hand right there.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out as you grow up that he had a metal plate. Okay. So he had mental illness happening.
Right.
And so he lived and he drank his life. And then at some point he took his life. So mental illness, y'all, is a very real thing. And when that happens, you know, I'm looking back and I'm thinking about how my dad looked when this happened, and you know how my mother reacted having to clean up this blood, and you know the strength in that, but having to deal with that grief, and my grandfather having to deal with that grief. So I can see where this woman wants to fight back, right? I can see where she wants to fight back. But this child, this baby, I think you said she had bipolar and other anxiety issues. We really should have been focusing on that, and we may have been lax in helping this adult child deal with this. I got another story about bipolar, but we're not gonna keep talking about this.
Right.
So
Look, I'm gonna say this. I agree with you because in the Black community for a long time, it was not feasible for them to go and get psychiatric help because Black people did not see it that way. We always knew there was a crazy uncle upstairs and don't go upstairs and bother him because he ain't wrapped too tight. Slide the food at the door, and go about your way. He'd grab it and push the tray back out. Everybody has had somebody in their lineage that has dealt with mental illness or something to that nature. Everybody, whether you want to call it that or not. The problem was it was not looked upon for Black people to go get them professional help. Like, oh, just talk to Jesus, he'll fix it. Yeah, he will, but he gives you people to go and talk to so you can
like
fix.
Medea in the corner over there.
Yeah,
Go talk to Medea. She's wise and discerning. You're gonna go talk to Medea about it.
Right. So I mean, you know how it go. She go to grandmama's house. She know what to say and how to put you back in perspective.
And then she'll give you a good old plate of soul food, and it'll be all right.
Right. Exactly. So I mean, so you
got to deal with being obese and diabetes
and high blood pressure.
Okay. Okay.
Because you didn't have so many mental problems. You've been over grandma's house too long.
Yeah. Okay, go make your point. I'm sorry.
Shoot. So I mean, I can see it from that point of view, but that ain't gonna help your situation because at the end of the day, she's still gone.
Look, okay, so one of our viewers, you try to be funny, viewer, but that's okay. I'm going to tell them what you said. One of our viewers said, "Hey, Ice, are you sure you really need a gun?"
That is funny.
That's I tell y'all, have one.
Like I say, everybody ain't able. You know, like,
I know I don't need one. I don't need
li-
knives either.
listen, and see, that's what I say. You know, when dealing with conflict, just because you have a gun, don't mean you gonna exercise your right in it. Because one thing I know is that it's one thing to pull a gun, it's one thing to pull the trigger of a gun.
Yeah.
That's
And the
two different.
professionals say don't point it if you're not ready
Yeah,
to
if you're
pull it.
not gonna pull it, even if you give a flesh wound, you better pull it. Because if they find out that you're too scared to pull it, you're gonna have problems. So one thing is like it takes a different type of heart to actually drop the hammer on that gun and pull that trigger.
And if
Because
you
now
get to
you
the
gotta be faced with conflict of how you feel. And if you ain't never killed nothing before, be it an animal or shot at dead meat that shows how the body responds to that, if you ain't right in the head, it can turn you. So I mean, it just depends on the person.
well, if your mental illness takes you to the point where you actually can pull the trigger, that's devastating right there. Like you've gone to the point where you can actually pull the trigger,
I
or
mean,
you gone to the point where you can, like the people that use razors and cut themselves.
and I was just gonna say that it's no different than a person just trying to cut themselves. You know, like I say this all the time. I've had a couple of buddies that I know that had mental illness problems, and one finally did what he wanted to do. And we, even though we tried to help him,
Yeah,
he just didn't see the light of day in that.
yeah. Like my
And
uncle. My uncle,
yeah,
all that love my uncle had in that family, he
yeah,
still didn't see the light of day.
yeah. I mean, so that, and that's why I tell people like this, and I'm not being harsh. I'm just telling you what it is because I try to be a straight shooter all the time. If a person wants to do something and they got it in their mind to do it, I don't care who it is that's trying to sway them. When they get from under you, they gonna do whatever it is they gonna do.
Yeah,
Like I said, that boy Kyle Rittenhouse went 2 states away to go help the police on his friend's car.
yeah.
So you finna tell me you was gonna change his mind, and his retarded mama dropped him off.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
the mental state of the parent was wrong and the kid.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so in Uvalde, 18-year-old goes and execute kids.
Mm-hmm.
And before he got there, he shot his own grandmama. So you finna tell me that if you wanted to stop them people that you could? No. I think, and this just me, but I think the boy that Chauvin that put his knee on the neck of George Floyd had mental issues too.
No
And
doubt. No
huh?
doubt. No doubt.
So I mean, it look how far this goes.
Yeah.
Some of the greatest minds had mental illness. Einstein, freaking Siegfried, Roy, great people. Freaking what's your boy name that wrote all the plays? Shakespeare. Epilepsy and depression. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
you can't tell me that these people didn't deal with a lot of things. Freaking the most mad scientist ever, Nikola Tesla, was a nutcase.
Yeah.
But borderline freaking genius. He was a genius.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can't tell me that it is not a struggle for some people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody deals with it in some form or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Because technically nobody is freaking normal, because ain't no such thing as normal, because there would have to be a standard of something being normal that you can put up against it to say if this is normal or not. Everybody thinks the way they thinks. Nothing is normal. What is it? It's like what? 8 billion people on the planet, and none of them has the same fingerprint, and none of them has the same DNA. Even twins have a chromosome that's off. Nothing is freaking normal. So, I mean, it is what it is. Like I say, here at Insane Rhetoric, we are sorry about your loss, but I hope you get some comfort in something. But I don't know, to be technically honest with you, how that lawsuit would go. Like my co-host said, if they sold her a firearm handgun and she was under the age of 18 or at age 18, and being it illegal to do that in the state of Texas, yes, you have every right to sue them. But if she was over the age of 18 or 21 and bought a handgun, that's not going to hold up.
What I want to know is how they arrived at $1 million, because $1 million is not enough.
It sure ain't. It sure ain't. Because I mean, like I say, you can pay that off and you know, you can write that check in a day. That ain't nothing. You know
But
what I'm saying?
but
And then
it
9
doesn't
times out of
speak
10,
to that life gone.
right.
It
Right.
just is not enough.
But see, this is what I'm saying. My thing is saying this is, how much is enough for a life?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's infinite.
There's not a check you could write to me for any of my family members that's gonna say, oh yeah, this is great, this is wonderful. Even the ones I despise sometimes.
Yeah, it's not.
Like it's just,
I mean, I'm guessing they had to put a figure on it just for the court. But
you'll eat that up in legal fees.
Yeah.
See, and that's what I'm saying. Like, depending on what lawyer you got, he gonna be like, I need half of that.
Yeah.
And you can take the other 500,000. You know what I'm saying? So, and
Then
if
what?
you ain't savvy with money, you'll blow 500K in 2 or 3 months. Cause you're gonna do something that you ain't never had before. I am go buy everything I ain't never had before.
Going to Disneyland. Oh, I'm sorry.
Man, the hell with Mickey Mouse.
Lady, I'm sorry. Anyway, so okay, we haven't talked about the NBA in a while.
Do we need to talk about that?
Well, okay, so you know the fans over there, Golden State Warrior fans, they over there in the uproar. They don't know. They waiting.
What they waiting on?
Well, there's talk that Andrew Wiggins might get traded. I don't know what a 3-and-D player means. Is that defense? What's 3-and-D? Because when he joined the Warriors, he was a 3-and-D player.
I don't know. I can't honestly say. I don't know if that was like the division he may have came out of during college or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't follow basketball like that, like I used to. So I can't give you the specifics on that.
Well,
And it really
apparently he
ain't that
did really
important.
well during the playoffs, which he did because I watched him. He did.
I mean, well, apparently somebody is making that call and wants somebody else that's more valuable than him.
Well, you know how the teams do. When you start winning trophies and stuff, then they want to mix up. They want to mix it up.
Yeah, but I
When
mean,
this is your winning team right here.
but see, this is the thing, though. I mean, I get that. The point of it is the coaches don't make the calls. If you're a high-power player in the NBA or even in the NFL, you actually are the coach of that team. So, like in the NBA, LeBron, when he went to who is he playing with right now? I forgot. LA Lakers. So when LeBron went to the Lakers, because he is who he is, he actually told the coaches who he want to play with him. And they went out to see if they can get those guys because they was trying to build a team around him. So the same thing happened with Jordan. When Jordan came in and he was running with Chicago, Jordan was putting up 65 points a game and they were still losing. So then that's when they went out and got Scottie Pippen. They went out and got Steve Kerr. They grabbed Tony Kukoc and all these people and started putting the team around the star player who they figured the star player was going to be. So then you had Chicago, who was losing, who actually started winning championships because they had that caliber of people around. So they already know one person that they ain't going to get rid of is Steph. So they already know we're going to pay Steph whatever he has to get paid to keep him winning here. And everybody else can fall by the wayside, or we can trade them if they ain't beneficial. So you're building a team. They did that with Jordan. They did that with LeBron. They did that with Kobe. You know what I'm saying? It's just that type of dynamic. So that's what happens.
Okay, so 3 and D player. Any player typically not a star who specializes mainly in 3-point shooting and defense.
Okay. That makes sense. No, all right, that makes sense. Sure, then they should. Who was whatchamacallit playing for? Tatum. He's a guy that's out of St. Louis. He was and he been having some issues with just like basically not stepping up to the plate. And
You're talking about Jason Tatum?
Yeah, so he's out of St. Louis. So he's supposed to be the guy to go to on the team. But this past season, I think he faced up against Golden State and he couldn't pull it through in the clutch. So I mean, did he have what it takes, or do we need some people around him? So that's all pretty.
Well, he played for the Celtics right now.
Yeah, that's right. But they met Golden State in the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah, so
I was watching it.
Yeah, so I mean, but he's supposed to be the go-to man on the Celtic team. He's the one that's supposed to be running the show, but he didn't look like he ran the show this season.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, NFL,
Celtics. I wasn't for y'all. I was for the Golden State
Warriors. I'm gonna tell you like this, and it ain't no shade on the NBA. It's just like slavery. You move one person from one plantation to another. I mean, it is what it is. You ain't working out over here, boy, so we got to move you over there. It is what it is. Just like the combine.
Well, they got mad at what's that boy name? Kaepernick for saying that it was.
I mean, but that's what it is. That's what it is. If you go back into the slave trading times, you was on riverfronts and water towers picking out the strongest slave, the most useful, fastest, and healthy looking slave. And if you put that against the combine, who can jump the highest, who can run the fastest, who can cut the corner the quickest, who can catch more balls. It's the same thing. So I ain't mad at Kaepernick for putting that in play because it's the same thing. You trying to find out what you buying. Like I say, and if you cool with that, you know, because that's your job and you making money, hey man, as long as you doing something productive for what you're trying to get accomplished in your life, and you got to go through the means of that, then that's fine. But that's not to say that it's not the same, you know, type of situation, because that setup is the same.
So the originator of the 3 and D is Michael Cooper.
Okay.
He played between 79 and 90. 8.9 points, 4.2 assists, 3.2 rebounds, 1.2 steals. He perfected this in his time with the Lakers with, you know, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul, James Worthy. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. So he's known as the originator. So next most famous person to do this 3 and D, Robert Horry.
Oh, yeah.
Rockets. Oh, I'm sorry. I liked him when he played for the Rockets.
Have they ever won a title yet?
You know what? People had.
I'm just asking because I'm like out of the loop. I don't remember if they did or didn't.
Okay. Oh yeah, yes it did. Yes it did.
I thought they did. I thought they won a championship before.
Twice.
One with Harden, right? Did they win with Harden? They didn't.
I don't think so.
Okay. I mean, so it was older than it. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay. So it was. So Robert Horry played from 93 to 2008. Career stats: 7 points, 4.8 of rebounds, 2.1 assists, 1.0 steal. Okay. Nickname Big Shot Bob. Okay. When he played with the Rockets and the Spurs. Okay.
San
Antonio Spurs. Okay.
David Robinson.
Texas. Okay. All right. And then the third person is Bruce Bowen. He played between 97 and 2009. 6.1 points, 2.8 rebounds, 1.2 assists. Okay. Miami. Okay. So he got traded from the Miami Heat to the Boston Celtics to the Philadelphia 76ers. Okay. And then he found his permanent home with San Antonio Spurs. Okay.
All right.
That's where he really did the magic. So Raja Bell, they got 2 more on here, and Shane Battier. All right, so I'm not gonna go through all of those, but anyway.
Yeah, it is what it is.
3 and D. You learned it here on Inside Rhetoric.
Right.
If you didn't know.
I was not familiar. I wasn't finna lie to you.
All right, but anyway, do you got anything else to talk about?
No, it's time to go.
Oh, okay. Well,
you gonna take us out?
Yeah, y'all. Listen, y'all can see us on YouTube every Saturday morning. Okay, we got a surprise coming for y'all. We got a surprise coming for y'all in August, though. We got a surprise. Got something different gonna happen in August.
Something
Different.
There will be no bombings, no mass shootings.
Yeah, we tell y'all all the time to comment and like us and follow us and subscribe and all of that. But if you comment and we haven't said this in a long time because we figure y'all know by now. But if you comment and you start telling us what you're gonna do that's illegal, I'm gonna tattle.
I'm
My
just
co-host
gonna,
not gonna say anything, but I'm
I'm
gonna
just
tap
gonna wait to see what happens.
because we're not about that illegal mess here.
I'm
Okay,
just
so I'm gonna
yeah.
tell her. But anyway, y'all can see us on, all the different major platforms. We're not on TikTok though, because I don't want a TikTok.
I definitely ain't gonna do no TikTok.
No, I don't like TikTok. But anyway, we on Instagram, Facebook. We kind of on Twitter. Well, we on Twitter. We on Twitter. But like, subscribe, follow, and you can hear our audio because we do rebroadcast this broadcast on our audio platforms, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. So y'all go and listen to us, like, subscribe, follow, and remember, like we tell y'all all the time, y'all. We tell y'all this all the time. Just y'all enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. That is Insane Rhetoric.
Rhetoric. We out.
Bye, y'all.
Later.